back. Welcome back. There's been a lot of different changes here. Some of the changes is the car's on the other side now, so nothing major there, but little things. But yeah, so I've been talking about it. I think I said in a couple videos in the past that I was looking to get more experience on the track, but I didn't necessarily want to take the, well, Brutus as I call him, but the black Miata, boosted Miata, all that stuff, to the track right away because I want to get some experience first. So with that in mind, yeah, let me show you what I got. Another motor, nice. All right, so same 1.6 motor, not built, obviously, just bare bones. I think this is a longer nose crank, so it's not the same short nose crank that I have right now, but it is a little bit longer, which then I should be able to enjoy it a little bit better overall. But yeah, so we'll get all this stuff taken apart. We'll tear this down, and then we'll just rebuild it back up, make sure it's tip-top shape. Has good compression as of now, but yeah, just motor stuff, especially because I know how to take it apart and put it back together. I might as well do that, so that way I don't have to guess or be concerned if something goes wrong. But yeah, man, new motor. But in all seriousness, we got another car. So we got another Miata, another NA Miata, red, go figure. But yeah, got another car, man. So this car is, yeah, bare bones. It does have, it's a roller essentially, so it does have the stock axles, 1.6 axles, everything. The diff that's in there and the transmission, as you can see. I still have the transmission in here, but no idea of how well any of that stuff has been maintained over the years. I actually know the original owner of the previous owner before the person that I bought it from. I bought it from Downshift Auto Parts. That's where I ended up getting it from. And then they bought it from somebody else before, but I know the person they bought it from. So it's kind of funny how it all comes full circle. I sold them alternators, the 1.8 alternators I didn't need anymore. But yeah, this in itself, I mean, of course, it's an old car, so it's gonna have some dings, some little things, some body damage, stuff like that. Nothing too bad that I'm overly concerned with. Overall, the body itself is good. We still have the glass for all that. We still have the spares if we need it. We have that. Everything is pretty much bone stock in here, which is fantastic. It even has the carpet they threw back in here. Cool. Yeah, we got pretty much everything in here. So this chassis has a little over 250,000, I think, maybe right at it overall. So hang on, let me find the hood prop. But yeah, man, it's definitely a project at heart. Everything's there. It needs to be there. There's just obviously some maintenance that needs to be taken care of. Probably gonna end up swapping my hood onto this, and then I'll put my rear finish panel on this as well. Some small stuff that I just don't need anymore. But yeah, man, the goal is to get some experience in this. To pretty much take this to the track, not care as much if something goes south, since we've put so much time and effort into this one. This will be nice and refreshing to get it going and just have it stand up again. So really, we'll have to move this into the backyard. We'll basically just tear this down and kind of get everything started as far as getting the seats out, getting the dash out, getting all the wiring where it basically needs to be, getting all the stickers off, stuff like that. So that's pretty much going to be the majority of this. But yeah, I'm hoping in a couple of months we'll have everything we need to at least get it running, registered, and then be able to just drive it around for the most part before we take it to the track and do all that stuff. So we'll kind of do our checks and balances. We have some other wheels we can throw on here too that are in the attic. I don't know if they're gonna work well with this or not, but we'll see if it works out. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited because I've been wanting to get another Miata to do this with, and for a good while, I just have not found the right project to do it with. So this seems like a very good project. As far as the bones, everything's still there. Just need to put some time, some elbow grease, some muscle into it, and throw this thing back together. So. And as they always say, if you own one Miata, you're eventually gonna own two. It only took me 11 years, but here we are. All right, so first job, we have to actually get the hood off. The bumper came off, which is nice and easy, but the prop, there's no prop to pop it. So we're just gonna, this isn't attached here at the bottom, which is fine, no big deal. We'll just take these two bolts off here. Should be able to lift the hood up and then prop it up. So I'll have to buy another hood prop, but we'll use the old room, what's over there, temporarily, so we can see how much work we got to get into. We've seen it before, but this is nothing new. I'm just trying to get it open so I can start worrying about the wiring and all that stuff. All right, we have them taken off. So now we can lift this up and see what we got to get into. So everything overall is good. Rust water, probably from the coolant overflowing at some point, no big deal. Normal stuff. Hey, we have a radiator hose. That's cool. We have a couple of them. And yeah, this block is 1.8 block, but as you can see, it's definitely got some heavy damage done to it. That is not something I'm even interested in looking into. So we're gonna take this whole thing out, and then we're gonna throw in the new one, which should have everything base-wise that I should need. But yeah, man, we got a little project on our hands. So we'll have to get another cover for this temporarily, normal Miata stuff. But yeah, man, we got a good project here to work through all the kinks and bugs and problems. And we have Mishimoto radiator. No clue if it's good or not. I actually know the previous owner, which is hilarious because I sold him alternators recently. But yeah, we'll see if any of this stuff is worth using or not. It has fans, so we might be able to resalvage this. I don't even know if it's, we'll see. We'll just see. We'll say that. But yeah, let's prop this hood up so we can get this out of the way. All right, I had to pop this off real quick. If you've never opened Miata hood, there's a little pin. You'll probably see better this way. That hole, that is right. I don't even know how I can point to it. But you see it, it just lines up. That's where your hood pull goes. So we're gonna put this back, get a new hood pull, and then we should be able to just reuse this. But everything else seems fine with it overall. So cool. Looks like at some point this whole thing was in a crash to some degree, which not a big deal. Still shows it's clean and everything, but you can see it kind of in some areas. Mainly this big dent right there, but oh well, we'll keep going. So we have all the wiring in the trunk. We have, the first thing we'll have to do is take this whole block out just to get rid of it. It seems like the transmission itself is good, which is perfect and fine and dandy. So we'll have to basically just lift the car up in the air, drop that out. From the front, everything else looks to be standard. Probably end up putting in the manual steering rack since I have one. And that way we don't have to have any power steering. Get rid of all that, and then yeah, this will just be slow and steady to kind of put this thing back together again, which will be a little fun project. I think we're gonna do a wire tuck with this one too, just because there's no wiring in the engine bay as is. So I think it'll probably just make it easier to do a wire tuck. Do the same exact thing that we did to that one, and yeah, keep it going. We'll have to set aside some time to really just take everything out, clean up the inside, have to get some new door panels, stuff like that as time goes on. But this is not gonna be a car that looks anything like that one by any means. We're just kind of getting the bare minimum stuff done in and then test fitted. So I'm excited, man. This should be a fun project. Speaking kind of low because my daughter's sleeping, but otherwise, yeah, man, we'll get all these stickers off, check everything out. We'll lift it in the air and then really get a look at it underneath and go from there. But step one, we got the hood open. All right, so we're back out here working on the old Miata. We'll call it Chanel, as my wife calls it. So Chanel is obviously in need of much work at the end of the day. We pretty much just have a chassis, rolling chassis, suspension stuff, like stock suspension. We got a transmission that supposedly works, and then we have a 1.8 block that is cooked because something dropped right here. I don't know if you can even tell how messed up that is. It's not really flat at all anymore. But yeah, so that's out of there. So I pretty much started going through just mentally the dash that was here. This thing was in one solid piece, but broken and flimsy as can be. So used the old plastic welder to try and get some of this stuff back in a decent order. Again, we're not keeping this thing forever, but it would be nice to at least have a dash in there that looks somewhat decent. This is going to be strictly a track car, so there's not going to be a whole lot in it. There's not going to be a radio. There's not going to be a whole lot of big stuff that I would have in this car as creature comforts, stuff like that. So we're pretty much just going to have the bare minimum that we need to get it going and go from there. So with that in mind, yeah, I'll show you what the dash looks like now that it's actually back together again somewhat. Hopefully it doesn't just fall apart as I'm literally lifting it up. Let's see. What do we got? No, nice. All right, cool. So it's all in one solid piece, which is pretty sick. You can see some of the spots where we melted through. Not that big of a deal, but it is pretty solid. So pretty cool. So we'll basically have this ready to go to throw in there. We're gonna need to buy some small stuff. I bought, well, let me back up. I bought a motor from the same place that I bought the car from, the downshift auto ports, but I didn't really need that motor. It was more expensive than I originally thought it was gonna be. So I really just needed a blown motor that I could rebuild back up since I was gonna build that motor anyway. So I sold it. Makes sense. So I sold that, made some money out of it. or made my money back, let's put it that way, and then bought a used one that had a blown head gasket. So that way I could buy all the gasket stuff that I was already gonna do for the other one, but just, do it myself. That way I know all the seals are good, things like that. The other one had some leaks going on with it, which needed to be resealed anyway. Not that big a deal, but just, it was more expensive of a motor. So I don't really need all that stuff. I'm just gonna use what I have now, which is in the backyard. But now that we have this, we really need to just get the transmission off. Once we get the transmission out, man, I am greasy. Jeez Louise, been sweating. Once I get the transmission out and all the other block and all that stuff in there, then we should be good to actually put the other motor back in. Now, we don't have any wiring in here. All of the wiring is in the trunk, as you can see. So we're basically going to try and wire tuck this as best we can of take the fenders off. We'll do exactly the same thing we did to this one, which is take the fenders off, cut a big hole right there, push everything inside, and then we should be good. This one should have tons of room, only because it's, there's nothing in it right now. So that'll make it a lot easier to put it back together again. And we're basically gonna keep this as a 1.6, as is, not gonna turbo it. We could, but we're not going to. I'll probably end up drilling and tapping the oil pan just in case, but yeah, that's the end goal here. So just like that, that's gonna wrap it up for this one. Appreciate you for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't already, please do. Please do. Makes it a lot easier for me, and I enjoy it. I'm making the videos for you guys, so like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one, man. Enjoy the process. Peace.